my goodness. So I hope you guys can see me because I am currently at a parked at a park to make this video. It's kind of awkward because there's people and I don't want them to think I'm weird. So I wanted to make this video. I've actually been wanting to make this video for quite some time, ever since I started my YouTube channel almost 2 years ago. But this subject is not easy for me to talk about. I actually never spoken to anyone about the situation since I've been suffering from it. But basically, I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about a condition that I am suffering from called TMAU. Basically what that is a metabolic disorder that causes an individual to smell really bad. Yes, there is such a condition out there. I've been suffering from it for about 2 years. Well, actually, I first noticed it my junior year of high school. I would get like comments, or I would just always hear people like talk about, what's that smell? What's that smell? Like everywhere I went. So it's just like, why do people, I don't smell anything. So what are they talking about? So after I put like 2 to 2 together, I realized that it was me. So it started about my 11th grade year, and it got worse my senior year of high school. It got worse for me to deal with. Like I said, everywhere I went, people would be like, oh my God, what's that smell? Or they would like get up and move away or just make comments. One time I've noticed when I arrived to class, one of my fellow classmates said to another fellow classmate, like, oh my gosh, she smells or whatever, and they were just talking. And that fellow classmate was kind of like my friend. He was an acquaintance. So he came to me and, spoke to me that morning like, hey, how are you? And I was like, fine, how are you? Or whatever. And he was like, good. Did you take a shower this morning? Or like, make a smart, like, kind of comment. So I was just like, wow, really? So yeah, I would just get stuff like that. And then my senior year, it just got like really hard for me to deal with because I just couldn't take it. So I would skip a lot of school, like so many days I've missed of my senior year. I got so behind on classwork. And that was my senior year. So that's no time to play, especially the school that I went to. It was a medical preparatory high school, so it's kind of like really advanced as far as schoolwork. So I missed a lot of school, got behind on a lot of work to the point where I had about 3 F's and 2 D's. And if you have an F your senior year, you don't graduate. So I kind of knew my fate. I kind of just was like, dang, I'm really not gonna graduate high school because education was extremely important to me. I've always had good grades. Like my GPA, my highest GPA was a 3.28. So it was just like going from a 3.28 to, at the time, my GPA was like a 1.90 something, or like a 2 points. It was very, very low. It was just like, it was unbelievable. So at my school is really weird. The day that we have to turn in our final grades for graduation, we were each given like a piece of paper that we had to take to each teacher for them to write down our final grade, which is really weird because you would think that students can kind of like write in their grades themselves or whatever, but that's what they did. So the classes that I went to that I knew I had an F in was just like, oh my God. But my teachers knew me very well. They knew that I don't know, they were, I don't know, they were really nice, obviously. So the classes that I had F's in, they just wrote in D's in order for me to graduate, which was really, really nice. And I really appreciated that they did that, because if they didn't, I wouldn't have graduated. So that was high school. And then literally, like after I graduated high school, I did not have any problems. Like I got nobody making no remarks about a smell or anything. I basically just lived my life, a normal life like I did before. Which is really weird, because I was just like, well, maybe, they were just, or like maybe they were just like, I don't know, picking on me, but I don't know for what reason, like all of a sudden, because literally after high school, I didn't have any of those issues. And that was what I graduated in 2011, up until about, up until 5 years later, which would be actually that would be 4 years later, 2015. It started about 4 years later, around October of 2015. At my first job at the time, I was working there for a few years. So I was a cook at a casino, and I would get those comments all over again. When people will walk by or in my vicinity, they will just be like, oh my God, what's that smell? Or they would like hold their nose, or when they have to come to the back of the kitchen, they'll be like, oh my God, I don't want to go back there. It just smells so bad. I think about TMAU, the odors can vary from a sulfur scent to rotten garbage, rotten eggs, fish, or a fecal odor. I happen to suffer from apparently a fecal odor. I cannot detect my own smell. That is a symptom of this condition. Most sufferers cannot smell their own smell. There are some who can. I'm very happy that I cannot smell my own scent, because I think that would be a lot harder for me to deal with if I knew what everybody else was smelling. So I would get those comments all over again, like, oh my God, it smells so bad. What is that smell? And I would get pretty much bullied to the point where on my lunch breaks, I would go to the bathroom and cry. And at that point, I was at that job for about 4 years. So it just got so bad to the point where I literally left without notice. It was my weekend and I never returned. They called me and I never returned their calls. I never answered their calls. I was not with all that. I try to be grateful that this condition is not life-threatening, but mentally it will mess you up. Us sufferers often suffer from depression, anxiety, to the point to where you don't even want to leave your house, because you don't want to deal with all the comments and the ridicule that you get. It's pretty depressing. I remember when I was first getting the comments about the odor, before I even knew about TMAU, I would go to my doctor and let him know, like, apparently I'm giving off in body odor. People were making comments that I smell, but I can't smell what they're smelling. I have a normal personal hygiene. I shower and, so I don't know what's going on. I was just thinking that maybe it's something internally. I then and still do suffer from constipation, so I thought that that I was like backed up and it was just like coming out through my pores or something. So basically, I went to my doctor and let him know all that, and he was like, I don't smell anything. I don't know. And we did like blood work just because it was like time for a checkup. So he was like, all of your blood work is normal. There's no signs of anything wrong. I don't smell anything, so I don't really know what to tell you. So that kind of like gave me confidence because my doctor told me that I was okay. So I'm like, okay, that kind of gave me some self-assurance. But once again, once I go back to work or school, I will still get those comments. So I'm just like, okay, what's going on? People aren't just going to make those comments just to make them comments. So like a year later, after I was aware of TMAU, after doing research or whatever, I was like, okay, let me try again with my doctor. Before I made another visit with my doctor, I emailed him like, hey, this is regarding the body odor that I was telling you about. I've done some research and I think that I have something called TMAU. Have you heard of it? Of course, he, like many other medical professionals, are very unaware of this condition. So he was like, no, when I was emailing him, I was trying to get a referral for a gastroenterologist because you only could see one by referral. So knowing that he can help me, I was like, give me a referral so I can talk to somebody who might know what they doing. So he was just like, no, but I'm gonna talk to, or I've talked to an endocrinologist about this condition and we could see if they can help you or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, great. So I never heard anything back from him. And then like a few months later, I was just like, I'm going up there. So I went up there and it basically, he just kind of seemed like he didn't want to deal with me. He thought like probably like most doctors or people that it's all in your head. So he just kind of didn't want to deal with the issue. So I was kind of fed up at that point that he wasn't really trying to help. So when I went up there to talk to him in person, about like, I was doing research and I found out about this condition called TMAU. He basically cut me off, was like, when you use Google, you just assume things, basically saying that, I researched this condition and that it just wasn't true or whatever. So he was just like, when you use Google and you type in symptoms, your mind just thinks that, you might have whatever. So I was just like, are you serious right now? And to the point, like, that frustrated me so much, I just started crying. I broke down and started crying in front of him. Like, I was just so fed up. And he was just like, oh my God, I don't even want to think about it because he just made me so mad. He was just like, I went hard for you trying to get this referral. Like, I don't know what his issue was, but at the end of that appointment, I got my referral. It was like, you couldn't do that 3 months ago when I asked you to give me the referral. I had to come up here and basically get on you to give me a referral. So at the end of that meeting, I got a referral for a endocrinologist, which I didn't expect would be of much help. So a few weeks later, I got a telephone call from an endocrinologist from another facility. And I was speaking to her on the phone. She was like, hey, I heard that you think that you're suffering from a body odor. And I was like, yes, I believe that I have a condition called TMAU. Have you heard of it? And she was like, yes, I am familiar with it. And those words right there just gave me so much hope because I finally found somebody who knew what TMAU was. So I was just like, oh my God, there's hope, there's hope. So basically I was like, great. My goal of all this was to get tested. I had asked my doctor, like, do they perform this kind of test or whatever? Of course, he didn't know nothing. So when she told me that she was aware of the condition, I was like, oh my God, great. Do you offer testing for this condition? She said no. I had Kaiser. So she's like, no, we don't do testing here. We don't do the testing, or we can send So basically, when you look up, oh my god, this video is kind of like all over the place. But basically, when you look up TMAU testing, what I've gotten was that a few places who actually performed the actual test in the lab, and one of them was the University of Colorado, and some other places. It's like really, really hard to get this test done. So basically, she said that we can do let me start over. So, basically, getting tested for TMAU is a urine sample. You'll give a urine sample and you would test that sample. Oh my god, why can't I speak right now? I'm just all over the place. So basically, to get tested for TMAU, they will test the urine for high levels of choline. So they were able to do the testing, but it had to be sent, the urine sample will have to be sent off to another location. So when she told me, yes, we can do the urine sample, but it will have to be shipped to the University of Colorado, which is like, oh my god, I like researched that. They do the testing there, so that was kind of cool. So basically, I went in and gave a urine sample. When I Googled TMAU testing, I read that they give you something like liquid choline just so it can be in the system, so when you give the sample it'll show up. But they didn't do that. They just took a straight urine sample. So I did that, and they had to freeze the urine and ship it out to the University of Colorado so the test can be performed. So that took about like a month or two, and I went back to my doctor and I got the results for that. That was about April of this year. So that was about 8 months ago. So I got the results. I was so nervous. And basically, like, the doctor at the desk was unable to read this diagnosis, because basically it don't even say like negative, positive very clearly. So they're just like, I don't know how to read this. I don't know, maybe your doctor can help you out. I don't know what to tell you. Basically, here you go. So I kind of read this, and if I read this correctly, it said that I was negative. It's just like really, really like hard to read. It's like a bunch of formulas and stuff. I don't know where I seen that it said negative, but right here, the only thing that makes sense, it says results consist with normal activities of I can't pronounce the actual name. So basically it says normal activity, which I think will be negative. It appears that it's saying there's no abnormal levels. So that gave me hope. Well, that didn't give me hope, because it's like, I'm negative, so what now? So after dealing with all of that, like, having this condition will stress you out, trying to figure out certain diets that might help you not smell so bad, to thinking like, oh, well, maybe if I use a different soap, or if I drink more water, like, just all the possibilities. Is just you trying to figure out what can be wrong or what you can do differently to help the odor not be so pungent. All that will literally drive you crazy. And it got to a point where I just like, I was tired of it, like, so like mentally drained from dealing with all that. I just didn't care no more. So I stopped trying to research diets that I could do. I was just like, it's just doing too much. So I just basically, for a while, just been trying to live my life as normal as possible. still get comments, but just try to tell myself to not pay attention to it, to just ignore it. But it's not easy having to deal with that every single day. And you guys will probably not tell that I was suffering from depression and anxiety based off of like my vlogs, or if some of you might follow me on Snapchat and Instagram, because like on my vlogs, all I do is like go, like you see on my vlogs, all I do is like go out and party or whatever, and that's kind of like my coping method. Like all I want to do is just be happy, all I want to do is have fun. So like going out with friends and drinking kind of copes with what I'm dealing with every day. I don't think this video went as smoothly as I wanted to. It's kind of like all over the place, but basically I really just wanted to make this video. About 2 years ago, when all of this had happened and I was doing my research, I would look on YouTube to see if there were videos from people who happen to suffer from this condition, and you couldn't find basically nobody or no videos on TMAU. At least like YouTubers like that will upload their own videos speaking about TMAU. Only at the time like 2 people that you could find. And now today, 2 years later, there are so many individuals now on YouTube talking about their experience with this condition, and it's crazy that so many people have found the confidence to speak about it on a public platform, to the point where I was like, okay, well, now it's my turn. I need to try to do my part as a sufferer and raise awareness on this condition. And 2 years later, now there's so many people here on YouTube speaking about their struggles with TMAU, and it's nice because now I know that this condition is, it's not so rare as like the internet makes it seem. They make it seem like it's like 1 in every 1,000 persons suffers from this condition, and it's not. It is so many people out there who unfortunately suffers from this, and it makes me feel happy that I'm not the only one going through this. I'm not the only one dealing with these issues. So I thought it was about time that I shared my story. I'm still dealing with all that currently. I just don't care as much as what people are saying. It still bothers me. It still gets to me as much as it did before, but I just try not to let it bother me to the point where I don't want to live my life. I want to start being more open about it, as far as speaking to my family about it. Like, they smell me, but they don't ask me like what's wrong, why do you smell, or I've never spoken to them about having this condition, because it's really awkward, but it shouldn't have to be. So I kind of want to start being open. I actually want to be at a point where I'm okay speaking with it with fellow coworkers. Like if somebody make a comment, oh my god, what's that smell, and I'll be able to have the confidence enough to be like, I'm sorry, hey, it's me, I suffer from a condition called TMAU that causes me to smell, so I'm sorry. You know, I just want to be able to talk about it freely without being so ashamed or embarrassed, because I can't control it. I'm at a point in my life where I've accepted it and just want to do my part as a sufferer and raise awareness on this condition, so in the future we can seek some type of treatment or just a better understanding of this condition. And yeah, I don't know if I will make any more videos. I mean, I don't see why I can't, but I just don't know what else to talk about as far as this condition. Up until recently, I kind of wanted to start trying again, seeing if I can decrease the smell by changing my diet or taking probiotics. I'm kind of wanting to get back into that. So right now I'm thinking about taking some prebiotics and changing my diet. I'm wanting to cut out dairy completely. Oh, that's another thing too. I think that I suffer from IBS, which a lot of TMAU sufferers suffer from as well. Like about a year ago, I've noticed that I've been suffering from like digestive issues. Like I will have a lot of gas and just like stomach cramps or whatever. So I thought that I had IBS. And yeah. Oh my god, this is so hard to talk about. And pretty much when all this was starting and I was speaking to my doctor about it, I actually took a class on like IBS, because IBS as well is incurable. So it's just like I'm just toe up altogether. So basically, just to deal with that, it's just changing your diet, not eating things that might irritate your digestive system, which I noticed probably dairy is one. Just like greasy foods, processed foods, just pretty much anything that's bad that I shouldn't be eating, I shouldn't eat. So basically, now I'm thinking about trying again. So what I'll be doing is taking some prebiotics. And I was watching some of the videos on other TMAU sufferers that some of them found a supplement called resveratrol that has apparently helped them a lot. So I'm thinking, or I'm going to go get some of those and try those out. And basically just cutting things out of my diet and incorporating more fruits and vegetables. And also, in order for me to notice that those things are helping, I kind of have to talk to somebody about this condition, because I can't detect my own odor. I don't know how strong my odor is, let alone if all those things will help mask my odor. So I'm going to have to like confide in somebody to help me out to see if any of those things will work. So that's another obstacle that I'm going to have to overcome, is speaking about it. So yes, when I figure out a specific diet plan and routine that I'm going to do, then I guess I can make another video and let you guys know what I'm going to be doing, and then later let you know how it's going. I do want to keep making more videos on this topic because it is my life. But I just don't know what. So if you guys, this video is kind of like all over the place for me. It didn't go as smooth as I wanted to go, but at least I did it. I spoke about it finally, and I'm very, very happy that I finally did that. So I think that's gonna be it for this one. If you guys have any questions about this condition or anything you want to ask me personally about how I've been dealing with it, go ahead and comment down below. And I would love to speak to any of you, any fellow YouTubers out there that are suffering from this condition. If you guys want to chat, I would love to do so. So go ahead and just comment down below. So I'm going to get off now before this gets any more awkward.